Well, hello friends. My name is Amanda Dillon. I am a sign maker, furniture refinisher, artist from Florida. I'm also a brand ambassador for Essential Stencil. I wanted to hop on today and show you all how to use our brand new rub-on transfers. You guys, this is going to be the easiest thing to do once you get the hang of it. It's super easy. So let me show you how these come. These are going to come in a 2-pack. Just like this. They're going to arrive flat and ready to use. There's going to be a QR code that you can scan right here at the bottom if you need some instructions, and there's instructions right here on the back. So it's super easy to just pull open your cellophane covering and slip your stencils right out. Now I like to reuse my bags, so I try to keep these intact. I don't rip them open. And so you can use these transfers on a variety of surfaces, anything from raw wood to wood signs. You can put them on furniture. You can put them on glass. I've seen them put on fabric. There are all kinds of things that you can do with these. You just have to be able to rub them onto the surface, and then some surfaces will require that you seal them. It's very easy to seal. You can use something as simple as just a spray polyacrylic. And you can get any brand that you typically use. And so very, very easy. There is a little bit of additional prep involved on glass. You'll want to clean with some alcohol first to make sure it's super clean. If you're applying to furniture, you're going to want to make sure that your piece, if it's been sealed with an oil-based sealer or an oil-based wax or a wax of any kind, that it's fully cured before you try to apply your transfers. But other than that, it's pretty easy and ready to go. I'm going to be applying these today to some signs that I just stained a couple of hours ago. They've dried, but by no means have I had to wait for any huge amount of time. Now, I'll show you something I've done recently. I just picked up these cute finished little cutting boards, and I was able to embellish these very quickly by just adding a little rub-on transfer. Super easy to do, friends. And so it's a way to take something that's beautiful and make it just amazing. And so let me angle you down and I will show you how to use the transfers. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Let me pull my stencils out of the way right here. And these are the balance of my transfers over here. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to pull out the sheet that you want to use. You need a pair of scissors. You need a burnishing tool. Once it's all complete, then you can seal it if it's going to be used outdoors or in a traffic area, or if you just want the extra protection. And like I said, you just need a spray polyacrylic is fine. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to open our little burnishing tool, pull it right out of our cellophane, and set it aside. Now I'm going to be using this beautiful little stained wood canvas. And friends, the idea is that you can pair these transfers with our stencils. You can use them independently. You can add them to other projects or other signs that you've bought. If you bought, say, a piece of decor at a big box store and it just looks a little plain, you can add one of these transfers to it. There are a lot of things you could do. And so you can leave this as big or cut it as small as you want. I'm just gonna cut it out just a bit. I'm just gonna cut it just a touch more, but you don't have to. The beauty with these is that you can use these in a variety of ways. And so it doesn't have to, you don't have to worry about the size of your surface and fitting a stencil down into it. So it's really nice. It's super easy. Let me angle this towards me for just a moment so I get the right placement for this piece that I want. I think we're gonna do it. Let's see, I don't want them going off the edges, about right there. So let me angle this towards you guys. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your transfer right away from the backing. You can discard the backing. This bottom of this transfer is gonna be sticky. Now what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna be careful with your placement, and you can leave this on and place it a little at a time and not take your entire backing off at one time. Because once you place this down, friends, it's down. That's the only thing about the transfers, is once it's down, it's down. And so I'm just gonna place it down where I want it. I'm just gonna smooth it with my hand initially. Then I'm gonna take my burnishing tool and I'm just going to rub. First, I'm just gonna hit the whole piece here. And if you're using a particularly large transfer, you can start in corners and just work with a piece. In that case, you would just lay it down and just pull this back a little bit at a time. Most of these are an easy enough size that it's not that big of a deal. And so what you're doing now is you're just making sure that it adheres to the surface below, and then you'll pull away this top cellophane. A lot of times you can see that it changes color as it starts to separate from the top backer sheet. You do have to use some decent pressure. If you start to lift it and it doesn't look like it's completely adhered, no problem. You just continue to rub. See how it pulls right away? And so we're just gonna make sure it's pressed down, and we just work section at a time. You're just gonna lift and rub and lift. And so friends, you can use this on your furniture pieces. You could use this on embellishments for outdoor signs as long as you seal it. You can use it for indoor signs. You could use these after you've stenciled a piece or before. Like in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this beautiful design down. And then what I'll do is I'll stencil something in the center. Now, one of the things I'm going to do that you might find is helpful is you can stand, and that gives you just a touch more leverage in placing this down. And so let's lift this back up and pull. And you can kind of feel there's just a little resistance when you get to an area that needs to be pressed down a bit more. And you're just gonna work this in sections. There we go. Troubleshooting. If you guys get to an area where you've lifted and it's pulled away and there is an area where it's stuck to your plastic and not to your surface, you're just going to place it back down and just keep rubbing. And it should be just fine. And there you go. It's that simple and it's beautiful. They're watercolor transfers, and so it's got all the beautiful colors and intonations that would have taken you quite some time to create in this manner. And so we've got this on here, and then we can come back with some of our stencils, and right in the center, This one says you and me. You could put that right in the center. Or we've got blessed. This one might be just a touch big. You could put a little deer right in the center. How cute would that be? These are all parts of different collections. You could just use the word joy so that this is more of a winter theme. This one I haven't cleaned, but it's be still and know. That would be gorgeous in the center. So you can use these with or without our stencils. And they can stand alone or just embellish things that you're already doing. Now let me show you one other project, because one of the things that I think is very unique about these is, see, a lot of us buy these pre-finished wood panels. And so sometimes it's hard to fit our stencils down in here, right? We might have to cut our stencils or go with something different in order to get our stencils down in here. But the beauty of going with the transfers is you can go through your assortment of transfers and you could find one that has just the perfect part that you can put on the inside and embellish. And so if you think you want to go big or you want to go small, we've got all kinds of pieces that you could use. And so this particular little set has some sunflowers. We could put sunflowers in there. We could just do some little pieces of greenery. We could do a pumpkin. And the other good thing about it is if you can't tell if it's gonna fit, you can just cut this little piece right out. You can cut it right out, friends. And you can see if it's gonna fit. It would fit, it would just go off the sides, which isn't a bad look. Or you could go with something smaller and just put a little pumpkin in there and go back with some different words. You could just put a little small pumpkin in there. And so these fit down inside of your small spaces so that the guesswork is taken out of your projects. Now say you want to use a piece that is just a touch larger than what you are doing. That is no problem. Let me show you how that will work. We're going to cut it as close as we can to the edge of our design. And I'll show you how to troubleshoot this. So we're just cutting it. And then we'll take our little surface. I think I'll cut this right through here too, just so we can really see what we're looking at. Okay. And so this is our piece here. It's obviously a little bit bigger than the inside, just like our stencil would be. But all we have to do here is pull this away from our backer. And if I say I want this pumpkin here, let me turn this towards me for the positioning. And I kind of want it angled there. I'm going to press this all the way up to the edge of my piece. Now it can go right up the edge if I want it to. It can go right over the edge if I want it to. It's very flexible. And so we can grab our little burnishing tool here. You can use the edge of it here on the narrow pieces. You can use the flat side or the edge. And you're just going to burnish this down onto your surface. You're going to sure you get that in there. Let me burnish it up here on this edge and then right there on the top. And press it down pretty good. Same thing here along the edge. You could actually come back and cut this if you needed to. You could just not burnish that part. Sometimes I'm an over burnisher because I like to make sure that it's good and adhered. So it's not all of these that you would have to work terribly difficultly hard. It's not terribly difficult. You wouldn't have to push incredibly hard in order to get your design to adhere. So that, I've got to burnish this bottom. I'm going to turn it up where you can see. I'm going to burnish this bottom right here. Really well. Okay. Just make sure it's all smoothed out. Okay. And right here, it's wanting to stick just a little. So we're just going to come back over it like I mentioned, and we will just continue to rub until it easily pulls away. Using the large and small parts of our burnishing tool. And you will notice, don't pull it away quickly, pull it away slowly, because you will notice a little resistance if it's not quite ready to be pulled away. Let's rub a little bit more. That pumpkin right there, that edge was not quite ready. And so he started to lift up, and that's no problem. We just put him right back down, and we just continue to burnish. And there we go. And you can see where it went down on the bottom, it just continued our leaf. And on the sides, it just continued. Now, if you didn't want it to continue on the sides, you just wouldn't have burnished it there and it would have pulled it right away. But this just creates somewhat of a 3D image where it just continues around your project. And boom, just like that, you've got just a pretty little decor piece that's ready to go. How easy and quick is that? All I had to do is paint and stain my piece and put my transfer right on it. And so super quickly, we've been able to create two unique pieces that we can then come back and add words to if we want, using our stencils. Gorgeous sets, brand new from Essential Stencil. I can't wait to see what you create. You guys make sure you post on our pages what you create. You guys take care and have a fantastic time crafting. Bye now.